Is it?
So we are live now.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, maybe even good night for most of you. We are here with another live session. I am Cicely. I reside in Texas. I'm a nurse working here in Texas. I have a special guest today to talk regarding this digital business that we are running. This is a very special person. The reason why I have her here is almost the same reason why I had my last live session with the IT professional and a teacher. Uh, because most of the time people ask me or tell me, why you nurses doing this business? Because I'm seeing only nurses running this business. And I try to say it's not just the nurses. There's many other professionals doing this. IT professional, engineers, doctors, other medical professional, teachers, like anybody, accounting, like everybody does it. So I am trying to bring people from different stages of life or different professionals just to talk about their experiences regarding this business. And we know anybody above 18 years of age who has basic computer knowledge can run this business. No qualified, we don't need to be qualified or anything, no previous experiences. But let me introduce this person here. This is Dr. Suzie Jacob. She is a doctor, of course. She's a general practitioner. She's practicing in UK, settled in UK with her family, with her husband and a daughter. So she has been running. We'll hear more from her about her business. But I know one thing: she started this and she's flourishing. Her business is flourishing. So, Dr. Suzie, I want to welcome you to this platform, and I want to thank you for finding time. I know you just came back from your clinic, you had a busy day, and I want to thank you for finding time to spend here with me. And hearty welcome. And can you please introduce yourself so that everybody know about you?
Hi, Cicely Chechi. So thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here, and to talk about the business. I'm always, and whenever people ask me to talk about the business, I'm more than happy to talk about it. And for me, it's a platform to actually educate our audience. So people, or like what you say, people always think, why are healthcare professionals, why are police officers, why are IT professional, lawyers, electricians, you name it, all the professions and stay at home homes all are doing this kind of business. And we all have to say the same thing. Life is becoming more and more expensive. And you need more money to actually, survive nowadays. I remember a time, like even 10 years ago or 15 years ago here in the UK, like like for 60 pounds, if I buy at that time, I could remember that it will last ages, like even a month, a trolley full. Now a trolley full lasts probably a week.
Maybe.
Like the 60 pounds would only last a week. What we bought for trolley full 60 pounds, 15 years ago. And now when I buy 60 pounds, it's like hardly for a week. So, and the thing is, our wages are not increasing proportionately. Inflation is like about 5 to 6% minimum, per year. And during the pandemic, during that time, between the UK and all, it was in the States or and all, it was like 8-9%. There was a time. And our wages are never increasing. Either you don't have any, like for me, years I didn't have a pay rise for many years. And when I do get, it'll be like, what, few hundred pounds here. What's few hundred pounds? It's like a drop in the ocean, really. It's nothing compared to to be at par with inflation. Our pay rise has to be at least 5 to 6% every year. If you get 1-2%, or some places 3%, it's a big thing. But that still is not in par with inflation. So that's it. And what do people do normally? when they can't, like they need more money, they what traditionally what we do is we do overtime, we take extra shifts. And the downside of that is the more extra shifts that you take, the more you're away from your family, the more stressed you are. For me, where before starting the business, I was working anything between 5.5, 6 days a week. That was my average kind of things. Very rarely, maybe 5 days a week. And that's what was. And the thing is, and it was long hours sometimes, and I get paid, I'm only paid for 8 hours, but I'm in the surgery sometimes for, yeah, if you're wondering what surgeries in the UK, we call a GP practice surgery. So that's the terminology. People get confused a bit. So in the surgery for about 10 to 12 hours. So when you come back home, you're really, really tired. You're absolutely tired. And then, you can't function. Then you can't talk, have a decent conversation with your, with your husband or with your wife or whatever. That's the huge. And if the children come and ask you a question, the first thing you will try to bite them off because you're so upset, you're so irritable. Like, can't you see that I've just come back from work? Just give me some time to handle. And you're not like, and that was not a life to live, really. Yes, I was earning money. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I was earning money, but it was at the expense of my family life. I am ashamed to say that when my daughter was growing up, we had a full time nanny. So I didn't know even the names of her friends because I was too busy working and building a career. And then I remember a time also like working extra hours, and then 1 month earning less than what I did when I didn't work the extra overtime. And that is because when you earn more, your tax is more, so
Yeah.
your bracket goes up.
Right.
So I remember that time when I was a junior doctor, so I did a few extra shifts to cover our expenses. And I remember that my I had it was almost like a pay cut for me. It was like a pay cut for me, and I earned less than when I didn't do the shifts. And then they said, no, that's because you're now doing these many extra shifts, you have to pay more tax. What was the point? Like, for me, I was thinking, what was the point of working like that? So, but then that doesn't solve our situation about what to do about our, we still need money to survive. So if you do extra shifts, you end up paying more tax, you end up not having a life, very irritable, not having any kind of family life and things like that. Then I came to a point like, what, is life even worth living, kind of thing. That was the sort of situation I was in. Is even, you start getting depressed,
Right.
and you just like that. And then, my during COVID time, my husband couldn't work. That was an extra stress for me because he's a chef by profession. He couldn't work. He was changing jobs, so we couldn't get the furlough benefits also. So I was the only income earner. And then people were dying left, right, and center. So that was again depressing. I'm sure it was a horrible time for you also as a nurse.
Yes.
People dying, just, and then you're afraid you'll bring it home, infect someone, or what if you get infected and get long COVID.
Right.
And then you then work. All these things were running on my head. And then that's when I decided that, no, I need to work smart. I need to find other streams of income to supplement my current income. I was not at all thinking about starting a business or anything because I was looking at other things to do, like, stocks, bonds. I was looking at everything. I looked at crypto. I've done crypto. I've done a bit of property and everything. And I have to say, finally, I've now been in the end of the month. I will be, in about a couple of weeks, I'll be 2 years into the business,
Oh, wow.
just under 2 years into the business. And within 2 years, you know, I've earned more than I can dream or imagine. There are months when I earn twice more than what I earn as a general practitioner. And because of that, within 14 months into the business, my husband quit his full time job as a private chef. And as a private chef, he was earning as much as I was equivalent to, because it's a high profile job. So he quit his job, and he's at home, and
Nice.
cooking for us, taking care of our needs. And then we are Christian, so we do a bit of ministry work and things, volunteering and things like that. And that's all what he does at the moment. And in between, if someone calls, he goes. he has few clients, and if they call, sometimes he goes, but that's about it. And I have cut down from 5.5 days to now 3.5 days a week.
Oh, wow. That's good.
And that is the potential. Like, the financial bit is amazing, but I think it's just brought back our family life. Now we feel like we are a family, we are a family unit. I am there for my daughter. I came back from work today also. She got some clothes. She's like, "Mommy, see how am I looking? Oh, how do I look like this?" Then I was adjusting her dress and things like that. Her prom is all coming up, so she's so
Oh,
excited about all that. And before, I used to think, there was a time, when I used to come back home, and I was irritable. I don't want to hear about anything like that. I'm happy to buy the dress for you, but don't ask me anything. And now, you feel like a mom. You feel like a mom.
no. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, that is true. Like as a medical professionals, we all, especially like you were talking about the COVID. I'm an ER nurse, and I know how ER was like during COVID. And that's one of the reasons that I was looking for an extra stream of income too, where I can spend more time at home. And also, I'm not sure about the UK situation. Like here, like you have to work until certain age before you can retire. It's not your choice, of course. The system decides when you have to work. So, which for me, I have to work till age 67 to retire, which is fine if everything is okay. But also, I needed something to leave an option open for me if I want to retire to retire. That's when I started looking for an extra stream of income, like something online, and that's when I found out too. And your story is very inspiring, Dr. Susie. In fact, you have answered all the questions that I wanted to ask you at a stretch, even without me asking you. Uh, but tell me one more thing. What do you think? Like, I know people will be I don't know if I want to call it skeptical. I guess it's a natural process of human tendency to be doubtful or suspicious, fearful, and what this business is it a scam, or like can we trust this? I know there'll be a lot of questions. They want to join, but they are kind of afraid to join, kind of sitting on the fence kind. What do you have to say? I know you just expressed all your experiences, but what do you have to specifically tell them?
The thing is, it's natural for people to feel that this could be a scam, because anything online, you hear lots of horror stories of people being scammed, and things like that. So I think, and it's good to be cautious. So we can't blame anyone to be skeptical or a bit cautious, but at the same time, you shouldn't be like going overboard with it, because at the end of the world at the end of the day, everything's changing. I get my For instance, for me, I'm so lazy even now to go to the shops. I get my meat online. It gets delivered on my doorsteps. I get my grocery shopping, most of it online, and gets delivered. My husband is still very picky about Indian grocery, so that's probably one thing we do go to an Indian shop to,
Interesting.
to buy, and that he does. I don't go. He does that. He loves doing that. And then anything else, like even stationery, my daughter, I want my pen has got over, my eraser, like white ink, I want that, I want this, everything Amazon. Okay, click click click, I have Prime, so it gets delivered home. So the world is like that. So why can't we earn? So that made me think, why can't we earn online? Everything can't be bad, isn't it? But at
Right.
the same time, you have to have an open mind, and you have to be open to the fact that the world is changing, and if you don't keep up with it, you will be left behind. Like, one of the things I do in the community is I'm the frailty lead. So all these elderly, people in their 80s, 90s, or even more than 70, 65. Some of them have severe comorbidities, lots of illnesses and things like that. and they struggle when I can imagine their pain because they don't know how to do online, a lot of them. At the same time, my one of my patients, the oldest patient, was 92, and she does online shopping at 92. So what does that tell you? That if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
And if you are really, if you want something, even at 92 you can learn. And that, and I actually was amazed. And I told that patient also, I was like, you're the only person I think in their 90s I know who does online shopping. She said, yeah, yes, yes. And I drive, and she still drives.
Drives. Yeah.
Still drives. She wants to be independent.
Uh-huh.
Like, she
Right.
still drives. And one of the reason what she told me was like, doctor, my children are all in Australia, and my grandchildren are in Australia, and I had to learn how to do this Skype and Zoom, especially during the pandemic. She said if she had not done that, she wouldn't have been able to see her grandbabies. And that was her pain point, because that pain was so much. She was willing, and even in her 90s, to
Right.
learn. Like, I think she would have been in her late 80s at that time. But that's the thing. For me also, the pain of, the trauma of working that many hours and not being there, and my daughter one day saying like, mama, what's the use of you being at home when you're here, you're not there. Those are all like, events that happen in your life that, you then make a decision, no, you can't be going on like this. So when you have that much of a pain point, you will actually have an open mind. And that's how I had an open mind. And secondly, obviously, don't jump into every opportunity. You'll have to do your due diligence. And how do you do your due diligence? You have to find out whether this is, you know okay, what we do is affiliate marketing for a company. Research our company. Once you're in the program, you have, 30 days money back guarantee. Research about the program. Research about how many offices we have. We over four, about, I think, over 40 locations or something like that. It keeps on increasing every time.
Yeah.
So I've lost count now. So there are, check whether they have a telephone number, whether they have, email and things like that. And also, our products are real. Most of them are, got ISO certifications. So if it's a scam, you will not get an ISO certification. You know what I'm trying to say? You will not, it's an international certification. You will not be scammed over that. So, and then obviously we are dealing with people. That's why we come on live. We come here to show ourselves, saying that we are real people doing everyday ordinary people, having a family, doing our jobs, and we are doing this in the side, and some of us are doing it full time also. And you'll come to know us. And then, and you can build, and that's how you build trust. So you trust the person you come under, and you build that. You're not saying like you just jump into us. You can even research us. I even tell people when they say, oh, are you really I said, yeah, I got a GMC registration, you can go and check me out, and things like that. By all means, go and check me out. Check me in all social media platforms. I'm in LinkedIn with all my other colleagues also in LinkedIn, and you can check me out. So the thing is, if you want social proof, it is there. Only thing, you have to have an open mind before. Don't just close your mind and
Yeah.
say this is a scam. Not even do any kind of investigation. Not doing any kind of due diligence. That is being foolish, because the world is changing. Now in California, I saw a couple of months ago, there is a restaurant in California which runs with just robots. So there's no chefs, there's no waiters, there's no cashier, the till, nothing. It's all completely run by. So, and then there's already driverless cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we are in a situation where they don't need a lot of doctors, because AI is there, and AI is much better sometimes in diagnosing things.
Right.
Because I work for one of the things I do is I work for a health tech company, and I've done research for them. And then 5 years ago, when I did a research with the I was 94% accurate in the mock consultation, and the AI was 96% accurate.
Mm.
So the world is coming that way. So then you'd think, okay, AI is that accurate. We can probably cut down the number of people that is needed. AI is a lot better in radiology at the moment in diagnosing cancer. It's like, and I had a patient a month ago. She had a robotic surgery of her knee, and she had 10 years ago done by a consultant. She said you cannot compare the two. No pain, better recovery, no infection.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah,
if you look at it from that sense, it's a good thing. Obviously, it scares us as medical professionals, and that's why I keep telling people, go look for other opportunities like this. There are so many things. Like, obviously for me, this business was the best because of its flexibility. When I was doing property, when I was going and viewing properties, I had to take annual leave to do all those things. This is like I do 15 minutes before work, sometimes in between work I do. Then once I settle everything down in the evening, I do another half an hour. 1 hour a day I did. And I've cut down to 3.5 days, and my husband's quit his job.
that's
And
amazing.
that's amazing. Just
Yeah,
1 hour, because I couldn't afford more than that. If you're working 6 days a week, you don't
you
have the time.
could. Yeah,
And
right.
that's when, so when I say I did an hour a day, it's not even continuous. This is what I said: 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. It's pockets of time. When I was filing in bloods, I was listening to the training, multitasking like that.
Yeah,
And in between, if a patient doesn't turn up, I'll check if there's any queries, any people asking about the business, I respond. And that's how and that's the beauty about this space. So, and it's 24/7, so there's so much flexibility. You can do it whether you're doing night shift, no problem. You can do the business that time. Your break when you have during your nights or your morning, you have an hour break or something. So instead of scrolling aimlessly on social media, and you're not earning anything, what I do in it, I do the same thing. I am on social media, but I'm earning money. That's the only difference.
good. Very good explanation, Dr. Susie. I think this will be a very for the listeners, for who's for who are watching, very reasonable and a good explanation for. And in fact, all the questions I needed to ask you, you already answered even without asking. So I really don't have anything to ask you. Um, so, dear whoever listening, so I hope you listened to Dr. Susie, what she was sharing, all her experiences, and what are things to look for, and when you are doubtful, what things you need to do. Of course, this brings us a lot of time freedom. It's the key is flexibility, and you can travel with this business, and you can travel. It's like a suitcase. You can carry this business in your cell phone or your laptop, and you can travel globally anywhere, and you can still run it. And even if 1 or 2 days like you cannot do, you are busy with something, still you have a system running for you behind you, that you don't, even when you not worry about it. So it's a beautiful platform. So I invite everybody, those who are watching this, give a try. It's not, nothing will hurt you just for giving a try. And if you're not convinced, if you don't feel like, of course, it's your choice. But once you come in, I promise you'll find out this is not a scam. You'll find out this is nothing, this is a legit legal business. So I think we can wind up right now. Dr. Susie, is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. So, just any of you watching right now or going to watch the replay, just get in touch with us. It doesn't cost you anything to get in touch with us. It doesn't cost you anything to watch the webinar. See what the webinar will give you an overview of what we do, digital marketing, everything. If that interests you, you take the next step forward, and there's a 30-day money back guarantee. And then you get to know really about the business, how you get money, what are products and everything like that. And another thing is, imagine people as busy as ourselves. I was doing 6 days a week. I didn't have time to go after people. Everyone came after me. And that's what we will teach you, how people will, it's called attraction marketing, and that's what we'll teach you, because people like me don't have the time. And that's the beauty about this business. I didn't have to go after things. I didn't have to do any selling, because the system does it all for us, and that's what we will teach you. So get in touch with us to get to know more about it. And for me, it's been life changing, and I just want people to just open up their minds and open up their hearts, and just give them this opportunity to change.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Susie. It was like I think we almost like 25 minutes. It was wonderful 25 minutes. Lots of takeaways from you.
Right. So I'm just going to end the live because I think Cicely is just gone.